Today we're diving into one of the most dramatic and misunderstood moments in the Gospels. Many of us know the story, but very few of us understand the lesson inside the lesson. This isn't just about Jesus stopping bad weather. It's about why God allows storms in our lives, what He's trying to reveal, and the surprising truth we often overlook. Let's set the scene. Jesus has been teaching crowds all day. He's exhausted. As evening comes, He tells His disciples, "Let's cross to the other side." They get into a boat and push off. The water is calm, the sky is peaceful, everything feels normal. But then, suddenly, a violent storm forms. The wind roars, waves crash over the sides, the boat begins to fill with water. The disciples panic. These are experienced fishermen, yet even they believe they're about to die. Meanwhile, Jesus is asleep, not worried, not pacing, not praying for safety. He is literally asleep on a cushion in the back of the boat. The disciples wake Him up, shouting something like, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die?" Jesus stands, speaks to the wind and waves, and everything becomes completely calm. Then He turns to His disciples and asks, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" This moment is powerful, but the real lesson is deeper than most people realize. Today, we're going to uncover why God allows storms, what Jesus was really teaching, and the lesson we miss. Now, let's talk about the part we often miss. Most people read this story and think the main point is Jesus can calm your storms. And that's true, but it's not the main lesson. If the only purpose was to avoid the storm, Jesus could have prevented it. He could have delayed the trip. He could have changed the weather. He could have told them to stay on shore, but He didn't. He led them into it. Why? Because storms reveal what calm seas hide. The disciples believed they trusted Jesus until the storm exposed their fear. They believed they knew who He was until the storm revealed they didn't understand His authority. They believed they were safe because they were with Jesus until the storm made them question His care. Storms don't create fear, they expose it. Storms don't create doubt, they uncover it. Storms don't weaken faith, they reveal where faith was never strong. God allows storms because storms reveal what we rely on. Storms expose the gap between what we say and what we believe. Storms force us to see Jesus more clearly. Storms move us from knowing about God to experiencing God. The disciples had seen miracles, but they had never seen Jesus command nature. They knew He was powerful, but they didn't know He was sovereign. The storm wasn't a threat, it was a classroom. As evening came, Jesus told His disciples to cross the lake. They left the crowd behind and set out in a boat with Jesus. Other boats followed. A fierce storm suddenly developed. Strong winds hit the water, and waves crashed into the boat so violently that it began filling with water. The disciples were terrified. But Jesus was in the back of the boat, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke Him and said, "Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die?" Jesus got up, spoke sharply to the wind, and said to the waves, "Be still." Immediately the wind stopped and the water became completely calm. Then Jesus asked His disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were overwhelmed with awe and said to one another, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey Him." Here's the lesson almost everyone misses. The real miracle wasn't that Jesus calmed the storm. The real miracle was that Jesus was calm during the storm. The disciples thought the storm was the problem. Jesus thought their fear was the problem. The disciples wanted safety. Jesus wanted trust. The disciples wanted survival. Jesus wanted revelation. When Jesus asked, "Do you still have no faith?" He wasn't scolding them for waking Him up. He was revealing that they still didn't understand who was in the boat with them. They feared the storm more than they trusted the Savior. And that's the same struggle we face today. We think God's job is to stop the storm, but God's goal is to strengthen our faith. We think peace comes from calm circumstances, but Jesus shows that peace comes from His presence. We think storms mean God is distant, but storms often mean God is teaching. The disciples ended the night with a question, "Who is this?" That's the point. The storm wasn't sent to destroy them, it was sent to reveal Jesus. And sometimes the storm you're facing right now, the one you hate, the one you fear, the one you wish God would remove, is the very storm God is using to show you who He really is.